Greetings everyone, welcome. We have limited time. I might skip some of the slides and parts of certain slides, so forgive me for that in advance. In Turkey, there are very limited studies on talented and gifted children. And in literature, I have seen it for myself. And there are very limited number of investigations on the well-being of adolescents who have been diagnosed as talented. So I will try to pass you the research we conducted, the study we conducted, and the results. Well, the symposiums, of course, have an academic side, but other than the data we have achieved, what are our interpretation of the data? This is what the science is about, actually. Problem solving. What problem will be solved with the results we achieved? I will try to talk on that as well. The sample group we had lives in Küçükçekmece district, where our university is located as well. Be aware, develop, and improve your future is the project that was used to collect the talented kids. By the way, I should have introduced myself maybe. I'm from Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University, and I'm a member of the psychology consultancy department, and I'm also lecturing on other departments. So we are always in Küçükçekmece, so this is why we picked this site. Our campus is in Küçükçekmece, and our university also became a member of this project. Recognize or be aware, improve, and develop your future or change your future. Well, limited number of students who were diagnosed as talented and gifted were trained in special classrooms, and the province Küçükçekmece is the most crowded district of Turkey, and we have screened all the students, and we have detected 120 students. And my sample group of that 120 students were between the ages of 7 to 14 years, but my sample group is composed of the ages 4 to 8. So we have 40 students included in this research. This of course shows that we are quite limited in terms of our sample size. In psychology, well-being is emphasized, and moral maturity again might be related with well-being. And how are they related? We looked deep into that. And what kind of studies should we do? We have some recommendations at the end about the relation between well-being and moral values. In literature scanning we conducted, we have seen that there are no works on the moral development and moral maturity of the gifted students. No empiric works. Well, maybe it's because I couldn't find any, but I couldn't see any of such studies in the literature, Turkish literature. But Mr. Turgay, who couldn't make it here today, and our chair, Mr. Turgay, have articles on the moral values of the gifted children, but there are no comparison studies or most of the other empirical requirements are not mentioned. So this is one of its kind in Turkey, we can say. I'll explain you what I mean by well-being, by the way, but psychological well-being of these children also are assessed in very little number of studies. So what does that mean? This is one of our problems. Is the well-being of the gifted children high, as we assume it, or low? And what about their moral maturity? I would like to mention here about a letter. A German principal at the beginning of every term sends a letter to all of the teachers. Well, this is what I saw when I was looking for what has been done, and I would like to read the letter to you. I am son of one of someone who survived a concentration camp, and I have seen things that no one should have seen. I have seen the gas chambers that have been constructed by very well-trained engineers. I have seen kids which have been poisoned by very well-educated doctors, and babies who died with the needles injected by the able nurses. So I have seen university graduates burning other people. This is why I adopt education. This is what I want from you. Work for your students to be better people. Our target is not to create psychopaths who are skillful and who have monster futures. Well, reading, writing, and maths, science, these are important, but there is more than it. So here we can see some people who stayed in Auschwitz concentration camp, and they visited the camp in the 69th anniversary. If we cannot help gifted people to have high values, high moral values, we can have gifted monsters before us. And in the literature, I have seen it as well. The serial killers and many terrorist groups and many groups that are excluded from the community have gifted people amongst them. There are such researches showing those. Okay, let's come into the topic. Well-being. The psychological functionality of human beings and psychological experiences of human beings are shown in the last studies conducted in the last 14 years. Well, they are focusing on negativity, diseases, anxiety, clinical psychology. So they try to describe what is abnormal, but they do not try to describe what is a normal person and what is well-being is. But now, though, we have the positive psychology, and positive psychology is on the rise recently. And well-being, a concept, is related to positive psychology. And in line with this perception, well-being and satisfaction and feeling hopeful for the future and feeling happy at the moment lived in are assessed under this title of well-being. So positive psychology concept has a lot of diverse theories, but the Seligman's authentic happiness concept is the one that I will be focusing on, and this is called Eastman model by Seligman. So creative me, social me, and physical me, and me coping. There are 5 subtitles here, and with these feelings, for instance, in basic me, it is understanding the world, spirituality, caring for yourself, sexual and cultural identity. In creative me, it is about thinking, emotions, control, and positive humor and labor, work, etc. And this is the shame of the whole concept. I'll skip it first. Seligman's model has been improved with and renamed as PERMA model. This is improved for adults, so I'll skip it. PERMA is adapted to children with the name of EPOCH or EPOCH. So this is a model that is using the first letters of engagement, perseverance, optimism, and connectedness, and happiness. So there are 5 subtitles here, and 3 titles are used tools are used to assess the well-being of our children. So when we say connectedness, we mean how the individuals feel involved and engaged in, and decisiveness means the ability to keep on to your target, and feeling optimist, and the relatedness is the relation that is connected with the other people, and happiness is the general happiness of the individual. We are going to pay attention to that when we talk about it soon. On epoch, on literature, there is no direct assessment of well-being, but there is a study that is kind of related, and this study is kind of related to my outcomes as well. In moral assessments, we think of the moral thinking, moral feelings, moral judgments, moral attitudes, and in terms of moral development, of course, there are different theories. Piaget, for instance, has a model, and Kohlberg has a model. How is this important to us? Our age group is 9 to 14. So what is the age interval for moral development? Can you please speak faster, and can you please finish, because we have limited time? Well, Kohlberg says it should be the developmental phase, and our students actually meet this requirement. Okay, I'll skip those first 2 scales we used. One is epoch, and the other one is a moral maturity scale. Both are improved and developed for children. I will come to this part. Epoch and moral maturity scale. Our students' scores. We have 5 subtitles and 1 well-being score. So the well-being is the average of all the group. So 4.09 on a scale of 5 is our number, but the moral maturity is 1.46. So this is quite low, and this is important to us. So when our group's well-being is good, their moral maturity is low. So their well-being was expected to be high, but we didn't expect their moral maturity scores will be low. In the analysis we conducted within the 5 subtitles, we compared different genders, and there is no big difference in terms of optimism. So what do I mean? When we compare the results at the subgroup, for instance, boys have higher level in terms of engagement and decisiveness. In terms of optimism, there is no big difference, but in general, the optimism scores are high. But in moral maturity, there is a bit of difference, and boys have a bit of higher score for moral maturity, but the general total is still low. So what does that show to us? I'll go to the interesting results. Age correlation is not significant. So as the children get higher in ages, the moral maturity does not increase, and it is not again correlated to the number of siblings. However, something that I would like to show you as something interesting: moral maturity and well-being do not show a correlation at the subgroups, but when we look at the happiness, well-being, and financial power, there is correlation. So when we ask children about the financial income of their families, we have some different groups here. As the economic power of the children increase, the families I mean increase, they tend to think that they are happier. But for the other subtitles, we do not see such a correlation. And well-being and moral well-being. If well-being increases, the moral maturity decreases. There is a reverse correlation here. As the moral maturity increases, the well-being decreases. So there is an interesting result. So results and recommendations. Please fasten your speech. If we think of the children's age group as well, maybe the answers are related to the children's having pressurized by the families, like parents saying, well, you have to go to college, etc. But when we look at the moral maturity, well, it's not relevant, because such children are expected to have higher moral maturity, but in our study it looks to be low. What does that mean? Children diagnosed as gifted children in moral issues should be trained more. So they should have spiritual guidance and counseling, because children's well-being are related to their positivity, with them being optimists, but they are associating well-being and happiness with financial power. If we do not teach these children, and if we cannot improve their moral values, they can just be moral. They might just be moral monsters. They can be gifted monsters. Okay, thank you very much. These are results that requires much of thought.